Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the PCBC, episode 2. Today we're going to be going through our previews, predictions for tomorrow's matchups, and our preview matchup between SRU and IUP, which is going to be a big one. We look at a recap from Wednesday's performances and predictions from Wednesday's games, and look at a recap of Wednesday's games as well. With that being said, I am your judge, Noah Sipper, by the way. Episode 2, court is now in session. Looking at a recap from Wednesday's performance, a game I was in attendance for, IEP traveling down US 119 to Seton Hill University, take on the Griffins in a make-or-break playoff game at this point, as IEP entered as just outside as an honorable, outside the top 8 of the projected regions, and Seton Hill was an honorable mention. This game was very intense right from the start. In the first half, IUP outscored Seton Hill 40-34 in the first half. IUP shooting 16 of 34 in the first half, shooting 47.1%. 8 of 13 from three-point range, 61.5%. Didn't take any free throws in the first half. Seton Hill in the first half shot 14 of 27 from the floor, 51.9%. 4 of 11 from 3, 36.4%. Shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line at 66.7%. In the second half, IUP outscored Seton Hill in what was a very back-and-forth second half. IUP held on and outscored them 41-39 in the second half. IUP shooting 13 of 29 from the floor in the second half, 44.8%. Shooting 7 of 16 from 3, 43.75%. And shooting 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 88.9%. In the second half, Seton Hill shot 16 of 33 from the floor, 48.5%. 4 of 15 from 3, 26.7%. And only shot 3 of 7 from the free throw line for a measly 42.86%. Garvin Clark led the way for IUP for his third consecutive game. Has scored over 20 points. Scored 27 last Wednesday. Scored 30 on Saturday and now scores 22. Gets 6 rebounds and 4 assists, shooting 7 of 17 from the floor and 4 of 7 from 3 for a guy who was shooting only 26% heading into this matchup. Hit all 4 of his free throws. Ethan Porterfield continued to make history, and indeed he did, as he scores 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, flirting with a triple-double. Porterfield, his 19 points move him up from 1,612 to now he is sitting at 1,631 career points. He is currently 7th all-time in scoring, only 5 points away from Ashton Smith to pass him for 6th all-time in scoring. Most likely will happen tomorrow against SRU. Bryce Radford, the number 3 scorer, shot 4 of 11 from the floor and 4 of 10 from 3, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Had 15 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. Jalen Stewart, in his second stint back in Greensburg. Last year was his first game back there, and now in his second trip back to Greensburg, shot 3 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, 8 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. KJ Rhodes played 21 minutes, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 offensive and 3 defensive, and 2 assists as well. IUP in this game, which was crucial, they hit the threes when they needed to, only having 6 total turnovers in this game. Another guy who played really well, 2 guys that played really well, Josh Pedna. He played really well, hit 2 for 3 from 3 and 2 for 4 overall from the floor, 6 points with 4 rebounds. And Sark Furton, one of the IUP's 3 freshmen they've had this season, had probably his best game of the year. In 16 minutes, shot 3 of 7 from the floor and 1 of 2 from 3. Had 7 points, 1 assist, but had 2 steals, 2 really awesome steals from behind. IUP in total had 9 steals in this game. For Seton Hill, Ryan Mice, their number 1 player I had written down, only had 13 points, shooting 5-11 from the floor, 3-9 from 3, including the last shot of the game. 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Seton Hill only having 6 steals, but had 12 turnovers, so double the amount. So IUP had a really good defensive game overall. Kedrick Curtis off the bench had played 25 minutes, shot 7 of 12 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3, 17 points, 9 rebounds. Brian Belade, 10 points, 3 rebounds. Drew Green had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Overall, IUP shooting 29 of 63 from the floor, 46%. 15 of 29 from three-point range, 51.7%. And probably the biggest reason why IUP was able to hold on and win this game. And shot 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 88.9%. Seton Hill shot exactly 50% from the floor, 30 of 60, 8 of 26 from the floor, or from 3, 30.8%, and then only 5 of 10 from the free throw line. IUP wins 81-73, improving to 12-5 overall in the season, and 9-2 in conference play, continuing to stay in the top 3 in the PSAC West. It's looking right now that the top 3 are pretty much set at this point. It's just going to be who is going to get those top 2 seeds for the first round bye and automatically get their bid into the PSAC quarterfinals. Seton Hill at this loss drops back its second consecutive loss and their second loss in a combined total of 10 points. Seton Hill has dropped to 10-7 and they're 5-6. With that, they actually drop 1 spot overall in the PSAC West standings. Looking at the predictions, the matchups from Wednesday, congratulations. It's hard to believe, but I'm going to say this. I was so close on last Saturday from having a perfect 8-0 record. This Wednesday, perfect 8-0 record. Hard to believe. So overall, since Wednesday, 21-3. Since Saturday, 15-1, almost 16-0. So it's been a pretty good couple weeks overall for getting predictions right. Clarion at SRU, looking at the schedule. Games from Wednesday, SRU, IUP, of course, beating Seton Hill by 8. SRU, who we'll see tomorrow, beat Clarion by 10. Mercyhurst over losing to Gannon. Picked Gannon over Mercyhurst. Gannon winning 79-68. Cal over Pitt Johnstown. Cal winning by 21. Millersville over Kutztown. Millersville winning by 16. Lock Haven over Mansfield. Lock Haven winning by 11. East Stroudsburg beating Bloomsburg. Surprisingly, East Stroudsburg only won by 9 points in that game. And then Westchester at Shippensburg. Westchester winning by 15 to finish 8-0 on the day. So, as we look into tomorrow's matchups, all games at 3 o'clock. It was official. It looks like the Mansfield game did get changed. Mansfield and Westchester was supposed to be a 4 o'clock game. That is obviously now changed. It is now all games at 3 o'clock. So what we see is what we got. Prediction-wise, overall now improving to 60-26 since it's first started doing these on December 18th. Winning percent, 698 per. A lot better from where I was about a couple weeks ago. Looking at the matchups here in just a moment. Standings-wise, not a lot of changes. The top 4 teams in each conference both won. The bottom 5 teams in each conference lost. Despite, and then the other 2 teams obviously not playing. Nothing really changed. So, anyways, PSAC East. East Stroudsburg continues to lead the way, 15-2 overall, 9-2 in conference play. Millersville and Lock Haven both on 7-game winning streaks. Millersville with the better record at 14-3, 9-2 in conference play. Lock Haven 11-5, 9-2 in conference play. Westchester in 4th, 11-6, 8-3 in conference play. Mansfield still staying in still fighting right now. They're still in by about 2 games, 1.5, 2 games. Mansfield 6-11 overall, 4-8 in conference play. Shepherd still holding that 6 seed at 6-10, 3-8 in conference play. Bloomsburg still in 7th at 4-13, 2-9 in conference play. The disappointing Shippensburg bout of failure this year, 5-12 overall, 2-10 in conference play. And Kutztown at the bottom of the PSAC East, 2-16, 1-11 in conference play. In the PSAC West, Gannon still leads the way at 16-2 with a 10-2 record in conference play. Cal is 15-2 and 9-2 in conference play. We will see them on Monday. Big game coming up. IEP 12-5 and 9-2 in conference play, sitting in 3rd. SRU at 8-9 now. So SRU was 6th. With Seton Hill and Mercyhurst both losing, SRU gained 2 positions in the PSAC West. That's 8-9 and 6-5 in conference play. Seton Hill in 5th place now at 10-7 with a 5-6 record in conference play, and Mercyhurst now only holds the 6th spot by 1 game at 9-10 with a 5-6 record in conference play. Right behind them is a team that beat them, Edinburgh, 5-12 with a record of 4-7 in conference play. Clarion in 8th place, 6-12, 4-8 in conference play, and Pitt. The shawless UPJ is dead last, 5-13 with a 3-9 record in conference play. Matchups, if they were to playoffs were today in the opening rounds, again, East Stroudsburg and Millersville, first round buys. Lock Haven versus Shepherd, Westchester versus Mansfield, nothing really changed there. In the West, though, it changed a little bit. Gannon and Cal still have the top 2 seeds. IUP would host Mercyhurst in the opening round, so potentially a third time we see Mercyhurst. And SRU would host Seton Hill. So very interesting to see the standings going into that. With that, we look at our matchups for tomorrow. Again, all games at 3 o'clock. We'll start at the bottom, I guess, since I had them at 4, but now I'm putting it there at 3 at the top. Mansfield 6-11, 4-8 in conference play, traveling to Westchester, who is 11-6 in the 4th place spot at 8-3 in conference play. Millersville, this is probably one of the big games of the day. The battle of the top 2 teams in the PSAC East as of right now. Millersville traveling to East Stroudsburg. Millersville 14-3, East Stroudsburg 15-2. Both teams sit at 9-2 overall in conference play. Cal traveling up north to Erie to take on the Lakers, Mercyhurst. Cal 15-2, 9-2 in conference play. Mercyhurst 9-10 with a record of 5-6 overall in conference play. Lock Haven traveling down southeast to Shippensburg. Lock Haven 11-5, 9-2 in conference play, and Shippensburg 5-12, 2-10 in conference play. Bloomsburg traveling to Shepherd, down to the good old state of West Virginia to take on Shepherd. The Rams are 6-10 overall with a 3-8 record of conference play, hosting the Huskies. 4-13 overall, 2-9 in conference play. 12th rate Gannon traveling south to Pitt Johnstown. The Knights 16-2 overall, 10-2 in conference play. Pitt Johnstown at 5-13 overall, 3-9 in conference play. Seton Hill Griffins travel up north to Edinburgh, take on the Fighting Scots. Seton Hill 10-7, 5-6 in conference play. Edinburgh 5-12 with a record of 4-7 in conference play. If they would end up beating Seton Hill, that would change a lot of things in the PSAC West for sure. Again, Edinburgh is not out of this. Clarion still may not be out of it yet. But looking at tomorrow's preview, now we go to our game, the preview. IEP versus SRU. IEP enters this matchup 12-5 with a record of 9-2 in conference play, 3rd in the PSAC West, coming off an 8-point win on the road in Greensburg at Seton Hill University at the McKenna Center. SRU coming into this matchup on a 2-game winning streak at 8-9 overall, the 6-5 record in conference play, 4th in the PSAC West thanks to losses from Seton Hill and Mercyhurst. IUP winning by 10 over Clarion at home at the Morrow Fieldhouse. This is the 196th matchup all-time between these two programs. IUP leads the series 116-79. They were 2-0 against SRU last year. The last time they played, IUP won by 13 at the KCAC. Overall stat lines, IUP has won the last 7 matchups overall. And unfortunately, I was at the game where they last lost in attendance. I was at the game where they lost. But IUP has won the last 7 overall. But the stat line that I'm more important about in this matchup is IUP has won 32 straight matchups at home against SRU. The last time Slippery Rock beat IUP in Indiana was February 19th, 1992. So, the question is, will the streak continue tomorrow, or will SRU surprise us? Time will tell. Looking at the 7 key elements of Noah's fundamentals of basketball. Offensively, SRU leads in offense at 77.6 points per game, compared to IUP, who's been getting better at scoring, 70.6 points per game. SRU ranked 6th. IUP ranked 16th. IUP's defense still continues to be a huge factor in winning games, allowing only 66.9 points per game. SRU allowing 75.5 points per game. IUP ranked 3rd. SRU ranked 9th. Field goal percentage, it's pretty close. SRU has advantage, 44.4% from the floor. IUP is a team shooting 42.8% from the floor. SRU ranked 12th. IUP ranked 15th. Three-point field goal percentage is something IUP has been very thankful for in the last couple weeks. And they actually have advantage over SRU slightly. IUP shooting 32.6% from the floor, or from 3. SRU shooting 31.9%. IUP ranked 13th now. SRU ranked 15th. Free throw percentage, SRU has advantage. Shooting 72% from the free throw line. And my good friend Ike Cursor shooting 80% from the free throw line as on the season. IUP has been getting better shooting from the free throw line, actually. We're not almost dead last. Only by 0.5%. IUP is at 65.1%. About a couple weeks ago, we were sitting at about 63%. So they definitely have been shooting the ball from the free throw line a lot better than they had before the season. Rebounding, SRU, thanks to a guy I will mention shortly, has SRU an advantage at 40.2 rebounds per game compared to IUP, who only has 37.9. SRU ranked 1st, IUP ranked 5th in rebounds. Free throw percentage, SRU was ranked 9th, IUP still dead last. Assist to turnover ratio, thanks to their performance on Wednesday, IUP now it's tied for 2nd in assist to turnover ratio at 1.23. SRU down at 0.89, 11th overall in the PSAC conference. Top 3 players, we're going to go with top 4, but then pretty much is the top 5 players. I have a good feeling it's going to start tomorrow. Leading the way is, of course, former Duquesne superstar and grad student Maceo Austin. Number 5 is leading the way for SRU with 18.3 points per game, ranked 7th in the conference, 20th in rebounds at 5.8, 17th place in field goal percentage at 44.3, and he's shooting 34.2% from 3. Then we go to my man Ike Cursor, number 3. He's their number 2 scorer. Went up for 36 points just a couple weeks ago against Cal. Has 14.4 points per game. Has really rebounded from a couple injury-plagued seasons for Gannon, for transferring closer to home. He's 21st in scoring for the PSAC. 3 rebounds per game, shooting 44.2% from the floor, and shooting 34.4% from threes, 15th in the conference in that ranking. Number 3 scorer is number 1, Jomo Goings, native from Washington, D.C., scoring 11.9 points per game, tied for 13th in rebounds at 6.1, shooting 46.6% from the floor and 39.1% from 3. Another guy I'm going to mention is number 2, LaShawn Lindsay. He is currently sitting at 10.2 points per game. He's second overall in rebounds at 9.7 per game, shooting 43.5% from the floor, only 29.2% from three. And then their last player that the most likely will start is number 11, Luke Howells. Big thing about him is he will try to draw charging fouls a ton. We saw that in the previous matchup in a game I went to earlier this month when SRU was posting Davis and Elkins. He definitely tries to get a lot of calls from referees, so be on the lookout for that in tomorrow's matchup. He is scoring 8.2 points per game, 3 rebounds, shoots 46.7% from the floor, 26.1% from 3. IUP's top 3 have still remained the same, led by, of course, the guy who's currently now 7th all-time in scoring. Most likely will be 6th tomorrow with another good performance on the way is number 11, Ethan Porterfield, ranked 10th overall in the PSAC in scoring at 17.3 points per game, 3rd in rebounds at 8.8, 18th in field goal percentage at 43.7, and 14th at 34.7% from 3. Number 1, Garvin Clark has been continuing to be a huge factor and letting the G-Wagon continue to roll in IUP. He has averaged almost 27 points in his last 3 games he has played. He has 27, 30, and 22. He's been playing really well for IUP, and he's been shooting a lot better this past couple games. He's been a big factor in helping us come back and be that versatile team that I know IUP is capable of. He's tied for 11th in scoring at 16.7. He's tied for 13th in rebounds along with Jomo Goings at 6.1 rebounds, 20th overall in field goal percentage at 42.1, and he's shooting a lot better from 3, almost near 30% at 28.8. Bryce Radford had another really good game, shooting 40% from 3. Radford overall scoring 12.4 points per game, 1.3 rebounds, 40.3% from the floor, and 41.3% from 3. Now, the 3 keys of the game. Number 1, you got to play physical. You know IUP and SRU, these teams have always never liked each other. And probably never will for the foreseeable future, but the key is you got to play physical. LaShawn Lindsay is one of the game's best rebounders, and you have to contain him. I'm expecting it's probably going to be Porterfield versus Lindsay tomorrow, if not Porterfield against one of Messiah Austin. This is going to be a physical game. It definitely is. I'm expecting a lot of fouls in this game to occur. Both these teams, IUP and SRU, they're both very physical teams. Their defenses have usually played pretty well. But definitely, you have to play physical. You cannot play soft against this SRU team. They have too much star power to sit down and, play soft. So, number 1, absolutely, you have to play physical against SRU. There's no way around it. Number 2, it's a freaking rivalry game, man. I mean, this is the type of game I've been waiting to cover. This is the first time I finally get to cover it live because I know this rivalry all too well. I mean, I've seen it through both perspectives. Going to SRU, we don't like IUP. IUP doesn't like us. I've tried to stay very neutral about it. And, when it comes to football, I root for SRU. Basketball, IUP, because of my mom. So I know this rivalry all too well. I mean, it's a huge rivalry game. I mean, both games are going to be sellouts for sure. IUP's last time they played at home against SRU had 3,700 people in attendance. It was the largest capacity attendance game in IUP's history. I'm expecting it's going to be pretty close to that number tomorrow, I would say. And then at SRU, again, it's packed. It's like almost like I think 1,100 people last year. It was incredibly packed last year. So, yeah, it's a rivalry game. It's going to be a huge game. I wouldn't be surprised there's over at least 30,000, maybe 3,500 tomorrow. And be a sellout tomorrow. And number 3, keep the streak rolling. Again, 32 game winning streak at home. SRU hasn't beaten IUP in Indiana since 1992, when my mom was a sophomore, and it was her first year she went to IUP. So yeah, we're hoping that the streak will go to 33 games won and at home against SRU in Indiana instead of being L1 on the column. So now looking at the matchups for tomorrow, I already told myself more than likely will not go 8-0 tomorrow, unfortunately. It's one of those things that had to happen. Millersville and East Stroudsburg. Close. This is going to be a tough game to choose. Both these teams played really well. Millersville's going in on a 7-game winning streak. Oh, man. And it's a 3 o'clock game. It's on the road in a very hostile environment at East Stroudsburg. I'm going to actually be a surprising pick. I'm actually going to pick the team that's been on a hotter streak. I'm picking Millersville in this game. I'm going to probably pick a couple of bold predictions in tomorrow's matchups. Millersville beating East Stroudsburg is probably going to be definitely one of them. Again, Millersville is playing really well. But these two teams are probably going to see each other again in the playoffs, more than likely. Time will tell. But only we'll see how the seedings go for the PSAC tournament coming up soon. Cal at Mercyhurst. Again, Mercyhurst usually plays pretty well in these types of games where it's a top-ranked team in the country. But I think Cal's going to win. I think Cal's got too much team power compared to Mercyhurst. Again, I think Mercyhurst could make this game really close. But I'm still sticking with Cal on this one, going to 10-2 into Monday's matchup with IUP. Lock Haven at Shippensburg. Yeah, I think this one's going to be... Actually, no, it's not. Not yet. But I'm still picking Lock Haven to win. Again, this has just been easy. Lock Haven's been trajecting up. Seton Hill's just been going downhill this entire season. I mean, man, they've been so embarrassed. It's just been unfortunate for Seton Hill. They have one of the best scores in the conference, and they've had nothing to show for it this season. Bloomsburg at Shepherd. I am picking the Rams on this one. Shepherd, right now, I think this is going to be another one of those close matchup games. But I think that Bloomsburg's just going to struggle again. I think that Shepherd's going to win that matchup. Gannon at UPJ. Now, this one I'm going to consider my lock of the day. Give me Gannon over Pitt Johnstown. That's going to be an easy matchup, I think. Gannon's has been playing really well. Pitt Johnstown's not that special this now, especially, again, with Andrew Shaw not being there. It is very unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Seton Hill at Edinburgh. This is going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm going to stick with Seton Hill on that matchup, but again, it could be a really interesting matchup. If Bernie Blunt goes off for like 25, it's going to be a close matchup, I would say. Trying to see if I can find it. Oh man, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to it in a minute. Anyways. Mansfield at Westchester is the last game I have before our matchup. I'm going to stick with Westchester. So right now, this actually would be the first round matchup in the PSAC opening rounds if the playoffs were today. So that's what we're going to go with. I might as well get to mention our biggest dud of Wednesday. I have to pick Seton Hill again. Congratulations, Seton Hill. You've been nominated twice, and I know why. It's because of these. These are some of the worst shorts I've ever seen in my entire life. No joke. I legit saw those, and my girlfriend and I literally started talking to each other, and we're like, oh my gosh, those are horrible. And I just looked at their away shorts. They're pretty bad. They're red with white. I said to myself, I was like, I didn't know a college team, especially a Division II college team, could, get away with wearing swim trunks in a college basketball game. So, congratulations, Seton Hill. Once again, you've been nominated for the second time in a row as my biggest dud of the day. And that leads us to our final matchup for predictions, and that is the historic SRU IUP rivalry game. The battle of the two teams on US 422. Again, IUP has won 7 in a row, won 32 straight at home against SRU. SRU has not won since 1992. SRU has a really good roster. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a very close game. This game could be within under 10 points. SRU has usually always struggled at IUP, but I just feel like with Ike Hurst, you got Ike Hurster, LaShawn Lindsay, Maseo Austin, Jomo Goings, those 4, along with the other guy I mentioned. What was his name? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, Luke Howes. Their starting 5's pretty reliable for a PSAC West team. I would say they are the 4th best team in the conference in terms of their ability. Their roster is pretty good. I think they can compete with anybody. I mean, they almost beat Gannon not that long ago, and then beat Cal. So their lineup is very competitive. But I think IUP's is too. Porterfield and Clark, they both play really well. KJ's been playing really well. Furden's been playing really well. Garvin and Ethan and KJ. Bryce has been playing pretty well. Another guy I think that might get a lot of minutes, he didn't play a lot in Wednesday's matchup, Demir Brooks. I think he might have some unique highlight moment tomorrow. He did last year in the senior day game against SRU. He had two highlight reels, back-to-back dunks. It was awesome to see that happen. Again, it's going to be a really good matchup tomorrow. Not going to be surprised if this matchup is under 10 points. However, I am still sticking with IUP to win this matchup. This is going to be a very exciting matchup between 2 really good competitive rosters. You got Austin, Hurster, Lindsay, and Goings versus Porterfield, Clark, Rhodes, Radford, and Stewart. Yeah, I forgot to mention Stewie. Those 10 on the court starting tomorrow, that's going to be a physical game from start to finish because both those lineups are just incredibly talented. But IUP, I still think, is going to hold on to continue the streak to 33 wins at home and continue the trend of SRU still can't beat IUP in Indiana. But with that being said, hoping to see how I do tomorrow with my predictions, and hopefully IUP will beat the Slimy Pebble. That I hope is going to be the case. With that being said, this concludes our second session of the PCBC. I am Judge Noah Sipbauer. Case, this court has now been dismissed. Thank you all for joining me, and we'll see you on Monday for our recap of this matchup and for our previews for Monday's matchups with IEP and Cal.